a pretty common experience, especially in like the hacker community. They're like good tips. Most of them, like if you use them, if you use like these kind of tips, they do actually work. But
unless you make a conscious effort to incorporate it in your schedule, like it's really easy to say, oh yeah, I'll do that, but you have to actually track if you're doing it. Like you would track users on a website. You can track metrics on yourself the same way.
So just like listening to us, just like doing that, like probably won't make you more productive. So we're not going to try and talk to you guys very much. What we'll do instead is like try and do like activities and get you guys actually involved in like taking this like time block that you've already like set out to like not do other things, to like actually work on your productivity and build some habits. Sort of in the same vein, the goal isn't that you come out of tonight like suddenly like 10 times more productive. The goal is that
if we could, we'd probably get a lot of money.
Yeah, if we could promise 10 times more productive, we could charge you a lot of money. But the goal is that you start building habits now that build on each other and build on themselves, so that a year from now you are 10 times more productive, and then you have that for the rest of your life. And hopefully what we can do in an hour or so is start the process. It's not that we'll knock all of it out, but we've got a collection of tools that you can use. We've got a couple activities that you can try, some readings and research and stuff that you guys can look at, so that you guys are learning about this and thinking about it, and then you can like constantly improve after this. Cool. You guys all have to say cool.
Sounds cool.
Nice.
Thank you. All right, so what we want to do now is just like get out a blank piece of paper and write down your goals. Like, what do you want to do in the next year? I know it's like a hard question, and you might not have an answer. So maybe you can like shorten it. Like, what do you want to do?
If you need paper, I've also got it.
And we have paper. No, we want people to actually write it on paper. The idea is like you put this on your desk, and it's something that you see every day. And for me, that's a big motivator. If it's better for you to write on your computer, you can do that too. Personally, I think that if you have like a physical piece of paper that you see a lot, it's better.
Anybody short on paper, need paper? No, you've got paper. You don't want to. I'll leave this here. You leave it if you don't want it.
This is your distraction.
This is the distraction.
No, he wants to write it on his iPad.
Yeah. It's really easy to get distracted by technology. We forget like there are physical ways to store information that aren't hard drives.
Do you want to? I've got paper if you want it. All right. All right. So like take a couple of minutes, think about like goals for the short term, goals for the long term, who you want to be, what you want to do over the next month, over the next year, the next 10 years, all of that classic stuff that people tell you to do, that you like read about and hear about, but you don't do it because it's like not a thing that you want to do right now.
Right.
Go.
And this could be an ongoing list. Like you just get it started now.
Yeah. Let's see. I can talk over while you're writing. If you guys are on the live stream, hi. I should probably be writing down goals too. That's like a good thing to do.
We have no way of telling. It's just the void that is. The camera's not on though, so it's not. Oh,
it's the mic.
microphone.
I can also talk about like some like things that research shows about goal setting. Writing down your goals and like committing to like actually having a goal is shown to like actually get you towards your goal better than like not doing that. So that's like a good first step. Having firm deadlines and sharing your goals and your deadlines with peers also is like another way to like very much increase the likelihood that you actually meet those objectives. It's good to, they talk about breaking goals down into like bite-sized steps. So if you've got this big audacious goal, it's good to say like, okay, well, I want to be the president, but the thing that I need to do right now is just learn to be really good at talking to people. And that's over the next year. And over the next week, what I need to do is talk to 50 people.
It helps to frame it though in that way, rather than start from like, what do I need to do next week to be like more productive or to get more things I want to do done. It helps for me if you look at the bigger picture and you say, oh, okay, like I want to create a website. So now like, what can I do like today to start that? You know?
So if as you're writing your goals down, you want to either set deadlines or break your big goals down into smaller chunks, that's one good way to try and set it up. The key is mostly just like taking actual time right now to write down goals that you have for yourself. It's hard. It's actually like surprisingly hard to do it because it feels like you're committing yourself to something. That's the way it should feel. And if it wasn't hard, then it probably wouldn't be that effective. There's also this idea of penalties.
You can get into that maybe later.
It's sometimes motivating if you know that you're somebody who like needs that like crap. If I don't get my homework done, then I've committed to like pre-committed to like deleting my Facebook for the next month or whatever, like whatever it is.
You can set
like
harsh penalties.
Right. So like I don't tend to use penalties. I tend to use like social penalties. So like I'll tell my friend that I'm going to do this and then say like, listen, you have to frown at me really, really sad if I don't get my thing done. And I'm like, okay, well, I know that I don't want that. So that there's lots of different kinds of motivating stuff. All right, thumbs up if you feel like you've got like a pretty solid like set of goals in front of you. You need more time, like cool. All right.
You guys have a lot of goals, I'm sure, but
right. The idea is that this is like a habit that you should probably build. So like maybe once a week, maybe once every couple of weeks, like sit down and write out like your big goals, your medium-sized goals, your like this week goals, and like actually spend time like thinking about how successful you were the last time at completing the goals that you were moving towards. Whether your goals were the right goal, whether you need to shift either the behaviors that you're taking to achieve the goals or like the goals themselves. Like actually, that thing isn't the thing that I want to do anymore. I'm going to scrap that and instead work towards this other thing, which is cool.
okay, so right now, find a partner and share your goals. Tell each other what you want to do.
You guys are good there.
How many groups are we in?
Just
two?
whatever.
Two is good.
2 or 3 is fine. Yeah, 3's a party.
Can you come and share with us? You might make it better.
You didn't like that many goals. Then how do you want to do these goals? I'm just working on stuff that's
If you're being productive, then great. That's the goal of this.
Okay. You feel like you're making solid progress towards them. You feel okay. Is it like a piece of paper in the PhD, or is it like
That's what I
I can't help you. Being a person, you feel like you are smart enough and you are like at the level of knowledge. That's like a different thing than just like
Guys have some goals.
And like good stuff. It is like a probably useful exercise to talk about what are the pieces of this puzzle in order to become this person who.
I don't want to like share anything. Like
What are the daily activities? Like, if I'm going to be this person,
there's like one.
I really need to be somebody who gets up every day. Or
Something that you want to do.
that it's like
You're asking me, yeah. I never done that. I just tried it.
and you physically can
Okay, so exercising.
So I'm interested in goals. Is there anything what's that?
There's something to be said with going into the world. But at the same time, you have to have this. You must imagine, I want to. It doesn't have to be long. I'm going to. Actually, I just want to make a website. Okay, so that's a good goal. Figuring out how to do your freshman.
Okay, what do you want to learn right now? Is like, I'm not actually like I was just looking at the traffic for it, like sure it's okay, but they also expect you to work like every hour. They usually have controlling programs where you do very necessary like web programming and trying to get a job. I also read somewhere that when they ask people to write down their goals, when you write down your goals, it has to be like they even have some certain things. The goal should be realistic. The goal should be measurable.
What I like to do is you have like these two things where like goals are like this is just stuff I want to do. And that's usually like my entire life. Like, that's what I can see. I really want to make and then what I do from there is you write these objectives to like actual tasks. Like what you want. Okay, I know I want to like get better at time. I know I want to get better at time. What are the things that I can say that what things that you're doing? And then I figure something like that. So this semester I want to do something. And then you break it down even further, like, okay, this week it's like I'm working towards this, working towards this like
It doesn't really feel
Right.
just, continuation.
do you want to do
Yeah.
objectives from the goals?
Yeah, I mean, if people can break their big goals into smaller objectives, and say like, okay, this is what I want to do in the next week, and this is how I'd like you to follow up with me. Like, text me in a week, and we'll meet and tell each other whether or not we actually completed our goals. Like that's a good thing to set up.
So yeah, you might want to make like a separate list or something of just objectives.
Like have a
And then
study groups or something.
it could be, just make sure that, so the thing with objectives is goals don't have necessarily have time, but objectives, you want to have it sorted based on how important it is to you. And then you want to have it, set a deadline for each sometime, and something that's clearly, like, I can show that I did this, right? Like, so it's not just like, I want to get good at graphic design. How can you get good at graphic design?
Something that is measure.
Yeah, something that you can point to, like, that's the thing I did. So if it's read like, I want to get better, I want to get better, like, then I read like 10 books this
Yeah,
right?
that's understandable.
You know, put a number to it and put that on.
And applying it
Do you know in physics like what you
or it's like a vacuum supplement job. You have to apply.
So, yeah, right now, I'm trying to do myself. I want to be able to read. It's one thing that like, I started doing when I was in guitar and
It's like
now,
a program. So
I can't remember last year. You know, so that's one of the things. I'm also like,
playing piano is pretty easier than your guitar.
it is.
Yeah,
I like
once you know it, if you are good at guitar, you know the notes, like understand music much better.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to learn an instrument having learned piano before. But even what I like about piano is like you know always what note you're playing. Or on the guitar, unless you've been like studying this scratch or guitars, you don't know that like the bass going on several frets of that.
And they also subsidize your house.
Like, you probably know that.
And usually, like, they're taking like,
How long do you want?
Yeah, it's been a while. But like I just started learning how to play piano a year ago. But like more like deeper goals than that. I mean, I have like so I've been trying to get better at design. So I've been focusing more on more conscious efforts to both like design more and reading more about design, and also reading more on
Designing and
so like graphic design, and just design and try to make it work. And then even more than that, it's like a different kind of learning, where you have like project-based learning instead of that's like this overall thing. I'm working on that.
I exactly know what you're talking about because I had this in mind too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. As in, my undergrad was back in India, and it's like a completely different mind now. Place where like the learning thing is completely different. As in, it's not project based, or it's not. It's pretty much more modernist and everything is more focused.
Which is kind of what we have to say.
Yeah,
But I guess less so.
yes, comparatively much less so. As in, for my courses, it's more like project-based courses, or whichever courses that I'm taking.
Are you CS?
Yeah, I'm comprehensive.
Oh, yeah, like CSC have a lot of projects. I don't think they're there yet. So the problem is they focus too much on like getting the concepts out of you before you actually get to see it. Watch it. You have this thing where it's like, I'm just going to work on how to make games like full time. Yeah, you get really good at team programming. But like all these things that you have from it, it's not like where you got each small concept before I can start.
I understood we basically make sure to communicate with my account, which I didn't know nothing. I need a word for I want to read it. I can read those documents, but I don't know the word said, but like.
It's actually difficult to do this thing every week or something. Even
So you don't have to like redo this. It's like kind of more of a conscious effort to like update it if you think something new, or to like reevaluate. So if you have like a list of objectives for this week or even this month, I like to do week because it gives like a quicker evaluation. But so if a week goes by and you're like, oh, I didn't do anything that I wanted to do, you probably need to like look at like why does that happen, right? Like what happened there when I'm not doing the things I wanted to.
Okay, I feel like we've gotten pretty good at the goal setting. We've shared goals with people. Hopefully we've changed contact info so that we can follow up.
So yeah,
at some point.
if you created goals for next week on how you can get closer to your, so objectives for next week on how you can get closer to these overall goals, we want you to follow up with this person or people tomorrow, and then also follow up with them a week from today.
And if that happens, you're much more likely to actually complete your goal. We've got like more activities and stuff. Just to repeat again, the listening to us will not make you more productive. Actually doing the thing will make you more productive. Reading things will not make you more productive. Like probably unless you actually do the things. Life hacks. We do have this document. We'll share it in the Facebook group.
You shared it already.
I did not, but
You want it. What?
What's up? What's up, live streamers? Whether or not you're there.
Can you see how many people are watching?
Oh, okay, great. Go back.
Pause it and say, what was that?
Great.
What was it?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, so go to this link. We have a doc.
It's now posted on Facebook, so you can go there. Oh, do we want to switch the?
No, we can just leave it on this.
Okay. So the doc has like a bunch of, hi, how's it going? Doing good. So the doc has a bunch of stuff for like a lot of resources for being more productive in all of these different ways. So some of them are just like the apps that you should have installed on your computer to like be faster at navigating and getting around. Those will marginally make you more productive, like in the time that you're not like actively procrastinating. And so at least for like a large portion of people, it's the eliminating procrastination and like actively working towards your goals. That's going to be the best way to really be more productive, not like just being able to get around your computer faster. Because if you're getting around Reddit really, really fast, it will you will still never hack a project together.
Unless your project somehow relates to doing that.
Maybe, yeah.
Probably not though. But so we have like these 4 topics that we have in that doc. So go to that link if you have a computer or something. If not, just think about which one of those are most interesting to you. And you can like skim over some stuff that we have there too. And we want you guys to like get into groups based on which ones you want to work on.
Right,
so like we can have like a keyboard shortcuts group. We can have a finding the best applications, the best resources to work with, frameworks, getting motivated, figuring out how to get started, if that's like the biggest problem that you have that you want to work on, and also eliminating distraction. So those two kind of go hand in hand, but
yeah, they all tie together. Or we could all of us do all 4.
less exciting.
Activity by activity.
Less exciting.
In the doc, if you're looking at it, I can just pull it up. There's an activity for each of these things. They're like pretty similar.
There's actually a decent amount of people on this.
Hey, does that mean that there are live streamers? Hey, there are live streamers. Cool. The doc is also editable, so if you have a tip or a thing that you've read or a tool that you use that makes you more productive, add it. That's a great thing to do.
We want you guys to add to this. It's pretty comprehensive as it is, but for sure we're missing stuff.
Especially for Linux.
But so yeah, so get into some groups. Who wants to work on eliminating distraction? Nobody? You guys never procrastinate? Nope. Okay. Good. So
awesome. Good.
Let's work on getting motivated and getting started with projects. Okay. So you guys want to like get together in a group?
Yes.
Somewhere. You guys can come here. You can go there.
We've got like find the best tools for this is really specific to like if there's like a particular project that you want to work on, you will be much more like productive if you're using like the right framework, the right tools to work on that project. If you are writing a web app in C, you will never get it done.
Well, almost through Facebook, but
right. If you have tons of money, then maybe you can do it.
And then who wants to work on keyboard shortcuts? Nobody. There were definitely people that didn't raise their hands.
Okay.
So get into groups based on what you want to work on, and there's activities for each of them.
Let's have our get motivated, get started people over here. You can do it. We believe in you. Probably don't need the laptop, but not harmful to bring it either.
Laptop would be good.
Okay, yeah.
Follow along. And if you guys need a laptop, so I could give you mine.
You who are following along online, basically the idea is that you should try to do these activities with people because then you're more likely to like actually do them in a meaningful way. But at the top of each of the 4 headings, there's all of these things that you can do. Best not to read all of them. Best to pick one and follow all the way through it, and like actively like reshape your habits. Like do this productivity thing.
Do you guys want to work on?
This was get motivated, get started.
You're working on us?
Okay.
Okay. So maybe get motivated, get started. Fortunately, this room's not really. We can pull up some chairs on the other side.
Yeah, let's do that.
If anyone needs a spare laptop, you can borrow mine. So probably easier to talk to each other if you don't listen to each other.
So cool to, if it seems like a lot of us are doing this one, so
Is everyone doing motivation?
Or like anything that you can view this thing, as long as somebody's got it.
As long as you have one person.
So this is a very it's a very powerful tool. It's got all these parts to it.
What do you guys think? Are we all doing motivation?
We're thinking about doing keyboard shortcuts.
Keyboard shortcuts? Yeah. It's the first question.
The idea is to follow through this flowchart
You don't have to fix that.
with
You use Microsoft Word.
whatever, like, each of you to like go through it on for yourself.
Yeah.
So do you figure out like, okay, what are the things you're avoiding? Homework. Okay, that's a great one. What are you not motivated to do? It's sort of a leading extension of the same question. Is there a particular set of homeworks that you're like, all of it? That's like very possible.
This work I could be doing, or this is stuff that's productive.
It's good to be as specific as you can. If there's like a particular assignment, if there's like a particular like, activity or a particular part of the homework starting process that's hardest, as specific as you can be.
I haven't gotten around to it, but it looks like
Then it's easier to describe like all of the rest of the parts of this and then work on increasing these things. So the like reason that they're doing all of this was not what I wanted.
Ignoring all of
This is what this is all based on, this equation. It's somewhat like, this is social science, psychology equation. So take it with a grain of salt. But they do, it does seem to be backed by like pretty much all of the research. And when people are using this, it tends to like, be a lot more productive. So maybe take a second to like, so like things that you really want to do.
Yeah. So there's this kind of cool website called Shortcut Foo, and like it is you can like battle someone else and trying to do keyboard shortcuts. And whoever can do it the most is
So
like-
basically the like formula is increase your numerator and decrease your things on your denominator. If you can do that, then you will be motivated and actually do the task. It's pretty simple. And then the rest of the chart is ways to do each of those things. So decrease impulsiveness,
Spectacle's good.
increase expectancy.
So you can set keyboard shortcuts, spectacle. So you can set keyboard
Increase
shortcuts to like basically split screen windows. That's like the best function of it. You can get like really complicated, you can do like quarter split windows. Very cool program if you don't already have it.
So
That's really good too. I like Spectacle only because it's free.
what's your name?
I
Jordan.
personally use Window Not. Just like,
What is the thing that you're avoiding or not motivated to do?
but it does all the basic stuff.
Initiating study.
Right.
Okay. Let's look at the equation and see like what are the pieces that that are like making it less good. So what, in terms of like the value, why is it valuable to you to study?
I think you can split screen already.
Okay, grades.
The way you do it is
Expound upon that.
right? And it'll go half screen. Not having to like repeat a class.
Not having to repeat a class. Okay, that's like a really good value. You really don't want this bad thing. Is there more to it than that? Is there more like reason to study? Is there more value that it creates for you?
In the classes that I don't want to study.
Okay.
Okay, so the motive is just to get through it. what about the expectancy? So this is like if you study, what is the likelihood that you will pass the class and get through it?
They have something
And
similar.
sort of the converse of that. If you don't study, what is what's the likelihood that you'll fail?
Yeah, the Twilight, which basically does guarantee.
Okay. So you need to study. It's like this 100%.
So, like,
hopefully
in
100%
terms
of
of
you study will
The
pass.
best text editor.
So all of these tips and tricks, the idea is to
but
increase the value to you and like remind yourself like, okay, I really want to pass this class. I want to break that down. I really want to pass my next quiz. And then I really want to learn this particular part of the next quiz. And then you decrease the delay because the pieces of this that are like fighting you right now, that expectancy and value are low. The value of just not passing isn't like that much to you. You're not feeling that on a day-to-day basis. Like, oh my God, I really want to not fail. If you feel that a bunch, that's very powerful for getting you to study. Anxiety is like a tricky thing. So there's a zone of optimal stress where you want to feel enough stress that you actually do the work, but you don't want to feel so much stress that it prevents you from doing it.
So you're saying there's a way to positive.
Yes. So there's a lot of ways, and the way to do them is mostly like here are a bunch of strategies for doing it. So like setting goals, making them specific, making failure painful. If you can make these costly bets with people, like if you can say like, listen, if I fail my quiz, I have to make you a sandwich every day for a week. Like that's like a way to like increase that value for you to a level that will motivate you to actually study for this quiz. It's got all of these other things like sharing goals with peers that do like effective they make it more effective for you to actually do the work that you want to do. So let's do it. So what's a way that you can break down like this not failing all of your classes into like a particular goal that you have for like the next couple of days? And what can we do to like actually make failure more painful to that task?
Oh, really?
Like that idea of settings together. That's or something like that.
Mhm.
That's really good.
So let's get more specific in terms of like what you're avoiding and like what you want to do. Everybody else should like maybe try to get some focus on Jordan, but like if you can be very specific about a particular homework assignment that you've been putting off, and share it with the group, then you will probably do it.
Plus JKL, HJKL.
Like, what am I specifically
Avoiding ants.
You have the outline in the same position.
notebook?
Getting out your notebook.
It's not just that, it's like getting my brain to actually like want to learn.
Okay, getting your brain to actually want to learn.
That's definitely the best thing for browsing.
So let's try and follow some of these tips to like make your brain want to learn this thing.
So you can check out
And hopefully in the next like 10 minutes we'll get your notebook out. And then,
So the idea is like
okay, then
the most basic.
when you get home, you'll follow the live stream, or you just go to the document and you'll see this and try some of the tips.
It allows you to put
Hearing about this and seeing it, like, again, it's the same thing. Like
And so when
seeing this page will not make you more productive. Like knowing about this will not make you more productive. Actually using this will make you more productive. And this is like
So right now
pretty
it's
well
just
backed up
JK,
by a lot of research.
So
And
JK is
the page that this comes from, like links
and
to
that's
all
like a
the
common
research
thing
if you're
here.
interested in like knowing about it. If you just want to follow the things, that's also
So in
pretty
terms of
good.
not moving your hand out of the standard position, that's the important thing.
So
And then when you type F,
what can you do
can
to
highlight all the things. And then you
it sounds
just
like
type
the-
one you want to click on, and it takes you back.
maybe the increased value
You can
is the way to
mostly navigate
um,
the website without ever touching
the way
the mouse.
to make this more effective.
In terms of being really quick,
Whoa.
good keyboard shortcuts.
How's it going?
Definitely.
So we're in the middle of an activity. We're split into groups and doing like particular things to try and increase our productivity habits.
We're doing. I'll just watch.
You'll watch for a second. Okay. So right now we're trying to break down why Jordan doesn't feel the value of doing his studying, because that's like a very real thing that's going on in his brain. And if he can like use some of these tips and tricks to like increase the value and the expectancy,
Mac specifically, if you don't know.
then and like decrease the impulsiveness and delay. Like so if you've got like a short deadline, like I need to get this homework done by 10 p.m. tonight. Otherwise, this penalty comes.
Also, a cool thing to do is you can enable.
Then your likelihood of doing it goes way up.
Which is really.
If you can decrease like your procrastination habits, that's the impulsiveness, like your ability to become distracted. Then you'll hone in on it. If you can, I mean, the rest of them are all up there. There's a lot of pieces to it, but finding that state of flow. There's a lot of like research on like flow in particular, and the ideas that you want to be working on a task. It's neither too easy nor too hard. So if it's too hard, then
I don't want to think
doing it. If it's too easy, then it's like I can think about other things while I'm doing it. It doesn't absorb my time focus, and I don't feel. I don't know if you guys have like heard of flow as like a concept. It's like that feeling that you get like when you're super into the thing that you're doing. You've lost the feeling of a book in your hands and you're just in the story, or coding, and the computer disappears and you're just living in the abstract world of moving all these ideas around. Finding flow is cool. There has been a lot of good research on it, so you can just follow the tips, or you can dig deeper into the research and like actually know about it. Okay, see you guys. I'll find another victim for this.
You sure you don't want to get out here and laptop and start installing some of this stuff?
Okay. Let's see.
You want to do keyboard shortcuts, but you don't want to install them.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want to.
let's just in this 5 right here. Let's each. Yeah.
How can I help you? Like, what do you want to get?
What's your name?
Oh, my name's Wintal.
Winter. What is okay? Let's start at the top. So what is the task that you're avoiding?
I need to finish my research.
Finish your research. How like I don't know like what your research is. So what size of task is that?
Science of this task. It's a research project.
Freshman year, I worked at CBS or what's the lot there?
It's open. It's not
That's
like
right.
It's research.
Okay.
I definitely.
Okay. Is it something that's supposed to intended to take a month, or is it intended to take like a couple of days?
I think probably at least take several months.
Several months. Okay. So the first thing that somebody who's following your chart and does it would tell you to do, which I'll tell you to do, is to break it down into little pieces. So finish your research. That's like the big goal if you're really motivated for that. But what you need to do is get very motivated to do it from little pieces. So the first step maybe it's find the next paper that you're going to read. And like, okay, now I'm gonna hunt and find that paper.
I don't know.
I like breaking it down into these little steps. Then you can get motivated for each step, and they're not so scary. So finish research, like also very motivating, but also intimidating to get started. So your first step is
it lets you
breaking it down into
like launch any application.
Do you have like a particular objective?
Do like a lot more.
thing that you guys
I want to move this folder to a different place. It's just typing, and you don't have to open it.
Be more specific. Set this goal.
So that's a pretty cool one.
Read this paper.
I know a lot of like
Try to
keyboard
that
shortcut stuff.
That's
Mostly
tomorrow.
focused.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing for a while.
So
I used to use Windows.
maybe if you take the next
So I
like
was still kind of.
couple minutes to try and break down maybe your next 5 or 10 steps that you need to do in order to get to like a good milestone. Do you think you can like start writing those down?
Yeah, I can recommend.
Okay, cool. And then once you've got like a few of those, we can look at
That's like
whether or not that is enough to like get you to start,
options and you can like really
or whether we need
customize
to
how
do
your
more
works.
from this
Or you
toolkit
can just like control
like, okay, is the problem that like once you've broken them down, like they're not valuable enough to you? And because they have tools for like increasing like how good you feel about doing that.
There's so much.
Um,
And then
So if you do that, then we can try some of the other tools. Anybody else volunteer?
So
Want to
there's
go
like
do this
tons of stuff
sheet
if you
more?
read through it, like maybe you'll find some.
Yeah, I followed
But the idea is one US goal.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's implementing this is like more important. And most of it is
There's
like
another one where you can
understood when you hear it, but doing that thing
Control.
is the thing that will
Yeah.
get value out of it.
Right. It's very helpful to like have this and do it with people. Promising yourself that you'll like open this thing up at
That's all, like,
home
it's not really useful
and
for
like
someone
read it. You will not do it.
It's useful
I've
as
tried. The only time that I'll actually do it is when I set a date with somebody else and like I'll say, okay, I'm gonna go to McKelvin and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna do this motivation sheet. And we're gonna go through and find the things that we're not motivated to do and do it. That could just be me. Maybe there are some people who can sit down with the sheet and like go through the whole thing themselves and then become motivated. Maybe you're that kind of person, but
right? So the idea is
I'd like
you can activate it with.
a lot of the research shows that being social with your goals
Like I said, all right, I want to
is
go to
very good for achieving the goals.
Okay.
Okay.
So it works like an application launcher, but also it searches through like all the files on your computer.
So
say I want to say I have a specific file.
Sorry,
I
what-
work
what
on,
did you say
English
it was?
homework. I can just start typing
Okay.
English, and then it'll show
so
me all these files.
this doc is available. It's in the Facebook group.
So far,
It's like
Spotlight does all these things.
So you can see this.
That's all that
It's
you
a living
need.
document. So you can add tools to it.
But what you can also do
You
is
have
you can say like,
Um,
I want to.
but there's also like if you want to follow along.
To a different folder. I want to
The thing that we a refrain that we've
so
tried
like
to
you
do
can do
several
these like
times
little
is
actions
that
where it's like,
listening
given this
to us
file,
talk about
do this
productivity will
action.
not make you more productive.
Um,
But actually doing things
tons of
will
stuff.
probably make you more productive.
Using like the right things for you
So-
is also like,
The key is to like take
like
this and then
so
go
much
actually
that you can do it, if you actually use all
you will not instantly like overnight
of it.
become
It's way too much.
a lot more productive.
Less productive.
In the next year. You could probably become 10 times as
The thing
productive
with
as you are
like,
now by adding a lot of these habits. Like
those things.
this
that,
week I'm
like,
gonna
the
add this
90%
one habit.
of the work that you do.
I'm just going to add this habit of
What's that?
not going on Facebook. That would probably help with productivity. But it takes a while to build up these habits.
For example,
It won't happen overnight. The key is taking time to reflect on like what your habits are, what productivity looks like to do, and then going after like
That's
dedicated time
Yeah,
to
you can
building
do
positive
some stuff with
habits.
automated.
And
Probably not.
Not under
that
very
level.
specific, like,
Yeah.
But you can do that automated actions. Like,
is there a list of them everywhere?
we have,
I've used it a couple times.
let's see,
It's kind of useful where like you want to send.
building good habits.
like, a collection
This
of
is
pictures,
like
and
a
you can-
pretty brief list.
You
but
can
like,
say like right click
it's a good
services, and then you can do like.
if you have good daily
Conversion
rituals
It's like
to be healthy, to be productive,
Um,
they'll help. There's some good readings on how to form new habits. Not all of them are
it
up
does
here
help.
yet, but
I think
we're
on there
thinking
has
about-
folder actions too.
um,
I don't know enough about it.
all right. So, do you have a task that you're avoiding?
Not really, as in most of my projects have like deadline of a week or so as in, I have no other option.
Okay. Do you have projects that you want to do but haven't done, like the side projects?
As in, so like your long-term goals, right? So when you have like lot of things to do on weekly basis, you're going to like, this is like urgent and important, but
I had Reinhardt.
so you miss out the things which are, no?
So I guess the question is how can you build into your like daily schedule time to work on things that are not urgent but are more important to you? So let's dig into that.
Yeah.
When during the day do you think you have time to think about and work on the goals that are more important to you but not urgent?
Mostly
Maybe
because
during
like,
that.
At the night? Okay.
that's like,
Just
it's
sleeping, okay.
And
Okay.
when it comes to, like,
how much time do you think you want to spend on that per
we'll
day?
just like go into theory for a bunch of time and then talk about like
Per day
applications
as
and
in,
stuff.
let's say,
And then be like, oh, you guys don't know how to do this.
Okay.
Like, here's coding.
Okay, so 15 or 20 minutes before sleeping every day.
So I would
Thinking
probably
about
say learn it over
your
and
long-term
over.
goals, thinking about what you can do. What are some of your longer-term goals that you haven't been working on?
maybe making my own company or starting.
Okay. Cool. So the thing that you could do maybe when you're thinking about it this week, maybe starting to make lists of what you would need to learn in order to do that. Starting to compile a list of resources, things that you want to
For me,
start
like that
reading.
was like why I liked going to
It's
listen.
probably not on this document, but I
I
actually I'm in a startup shop and I do have a bunch of resources for like particularly for entrepreneurship and starting startup. So
It was mostly
if
like,
you like get in touch with me, I can send you some of those. And maybe it's just like watch part of the video every night.
Yeah,
And
I
then
do that often as in,
okay.
yeah. What is the name?
Well, I haven't known him for 260.
They have a company in California too for the startups. I don't know.
Oh, Y Combinator?
Lycon.
Yeah. The how to start a
They
startup
have
videos.
a lot of videos.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just like
I've been
260
following
is a
that.
hard
They're-
class.
they're pretty good. So then the question is how do you like when you after you've seen all the video, all of you know that, when are you gonna take time to start putting it into practice?
Yeah.
So if you every night you spend maybe it's 15 minutes writing down some of your ideas, writing down what your goals are for starting your company. If you build that habit in, and you're doing that every night for a year, you're gonna make pretty significant progress towards maybe not all the way, but certainly more than spending zero time on it, or spending like the occasional weekend. Because if you spend like one weekend a month spending 3 hours on it, over the course of the year, that's not very much. That's 15
I
minutes
think
a night.
calculus is mostly like spatial points, you know, like 3 dimensions plus calculus.
All right.
Linear algebra is a lot.
How are you guys doing online? Are there still online people? You have no way of communicating with me. I don't know why I bother asking you questions. Hopefully you guys have found some of these tools useful. I don't know if you guys have been adding tools. If you have good tools to add, please add them. Or if you've read awesome things, add those.
After I took calculus, I was like, I am done.
Let's see.
What was the math?
Commenting here. I don't know. Okay.
Oh, you see that? Oh, no,
Yeah, I know.
that's cool. What kind of images the
Mildly. So I'm trying to do a personal structure.
You're good at this beat.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do that.
That's mostly because you're.
So
Free fruit cup, everything.
of these other ones, because we talked about this getting motivated, getting started, and we did some keyboard shortcut stuff. Those of you who are left, are you guys interested in doing the keyboard shortcut stuff, or finding best tool stuff, or that first one, eliminating distraction?
I think eliminating distraction. Yeah.
Okay. Eliminating distraction. Let's
So first
let's
thing
go
to
there.
do is install. Yes. And so
Yes.
what you do is you go through and you blacklist like Facebook, Reddit, all the sites that you waste all your time on. And it only lets you spend 10 minutes total every
Every
day.
10 minutes passes and you realize that you hate this extension and you remove it and you're back to it.
Well, so for me, it was just a question of like, I just needed that extra thing of just just reinforce it. And like when the time went up, if I still needed to be on Facebook for like some reason, I would just go incognito. Because like there's easy ways to get around it. You open the browser or whatever. But for me, it was just that extra tax of having to log in again. It's like, okay, now I'm only on this.
So
for
this
this.
document is supposed to. Are you on the?
Maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't.
You can see the event. So this whole document
I like it,
is.
because it makes me more conscious even of how much time I'm spending.
So if you go there, then you can find it back.
Often I don't even go past.
This Chrome extension is called Stay Focused.
Maybe I never did, but maybe I
But
used
it's
to.
probably good to like be able to see all of it.
There's like an hour and a mile, like
Probably
speed,
50
like
little
somewhere
somewhere in the
it's not long enough.
So it's probably okay to just go and look at all of them. This one is very useful for like not wasting your time on Reddit.
After I install it, I will use IE.
Yeah, switching browsers is one way to get around it. But like increasing that pain of like basically the problem with like the bad procrastination habits is that they're very easy. You make them just slightly more difficult, like more difficult or more painful, like having to open up Internet Explorer. And that actually does.
For me, that's like morally painful.
It does make you significantly less likely to engage in that bad habit. If it's like if you're like in your normal workflow, you're working on your thing. You like don't naturally like go and open up a different browser in order to browse Facebook. Whereas it's very easy to open up a new tab to like switch.
New tab, F enter.
Right.
You're there already.
Yeah. So the greater distance there is between you and a procrastination habit, then the easier it is to get out of it. The other piece is when you're trapped in a K-hole, or like when you're like stuck on your 4th hour of Reddit. How do you get out of that? That one. The answer isn't as easy. It's not like just install this extension and then you're done, because you've probably already gotten around the extension and you're like stop stressed because you're not like working on the thing that you know that you ought to be working on. But you've tried several times to switch over to Word or your IDE, and you still end up back on Facebook or Reddit or whatever. The thing that does seem to work for that is going on like taking a real break, like getting away from your laptop and like going outside and like having a walk. On your walk, you like can clear your mind. You will. The key is to break the procrastination, not to like switch immediately into working on the thing that you want to work on. You can do that like easier, like making the jump from Facebook to programming is like a pretty big jump. You want to lower that jump so that it's just a jump from Facebook to like going to get a snack. That's like that's not a bad jump. And then once you've gotten to this point, it's like that's not a bad next jump from like getting a snack to sitting down and like mapping out what the code you need to write next is, or to, figuring out what the next step is.
So if that still doesn't work for you, So I followed this one blogger called like James Gray or something.
Is it linked here?
No, it's not. He wrote about this though, but basically he realized that he wasn't writing as much as he should be, and he has his own blog, and he was like, well, this is the problem, right? Like, so he committed himself to writing 500 words a day on like whatever it was, and no matter what the day was too, like if it was New Year's, Christmas, doesn't matter, 500 words a day, or he's donating $50 for every day to charity. Mm-hmm. And like he made that commitment, and he says, like a month went by and he had like 30,000 words, and he like made all this progress, and it was great, and he wouldn't have done that otherwise. So it's like, and then there's the other things that you can do, which is like getting into a good routine, which is like, okay, I'm going to write 2 hours before breakfast or an hour before breakfast. You just have this schedule of, now in the morning for 10 minutes, and then that's it. I'm not thinking about the rest of the day. And then I'm going to write for an hour, eat breakfast, write some more. And, so but writing and coding, same idea. Whatever project you're trying to work on, if you want to be doing it, just putting in the time every day, And maybe it's setting a financial penalty. Maybe it's like, I'm going to uninstall Facebook if a day goes by and I don't do this thing.
But the idea is that you don't say, I'm going to do something to punish myself if I do this. You have to have very specific punishments that get triggered if you don't do it. It's also like helpful. They talk about like recognizing the fact that you're human. Everyone in this room procrastinates. There's like nobody who doesn't do this. People do it at different levels, but it's not like this uncommon thing. Like you're not like the worst person for spending 4 hours on Reddit. The key is to not get like sucked into that like pity feeling, but to like just like right now wherever you are, like stop doing the procrastination thing. Go for a walk, get a snack. Maybe sit down with this sheet if that's your like trigger behavior. Like, okay, every time that I feel like I'm spending too much time on Reddit, I'm gonna pull out this printout of this how to get motivated. I'm gonna go for a walk and look at my sheet figure out the thing that's like, try and diagnose why I'm procrastinating, and figure out how to get motivated.
It's really easy to say I'm going to get this tomorrow, but for me, tomorrow never comes unless I make a conscious effort to do it today. So like whatever it is I'm putting off, just set aside time to just get the thing done. That's really the best advice I have.
Let's see. So some of these are more fun.
You guys want to play each other on shortcut food?
This is actually like in terms of like fun things that are also like somewhat productive. So shortcut foo is
Yeah, you guys should try that. So one person goes on. Which kind of shortcuts you want to do? Which you guys?
So say you want to get really fast at Excel shortcuts. Then I don't know why. Then you
can play like him if you guys both give each other the same link.
Okay.
And the idea is that you
So now that's like show date and time. So you type the command and hit enter.
anyway you can learn through this interactive thing, and it just
That's awesome.
tells you to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember that this is probably like if you're actually doing your work in Excel, then that's probably like pretty productive. This is like if this is a Amdahl's law type thing. Your like speed up is like it's limited. Like even if you're infinitely fast at Excel, then like if you're like on Facebook, you're zero productivity. So getting rid of your procrastination, building habits of actually like doing work is probably the best way to increase your productivity. But if you're doing a task a lot, then getting really fast at that task is helpful. But for a ton of different programs and editors and stuff, I'm learning Gmail now, and it's hard, but it's good. I am learning. Do you guys want to? If we want, we could probably like broadcast. Like the shortcut foo has like a versus mode, so you can like fight each other in like a race. If we wanted, we could probably like broadcast some like shortcut races, just for fun. I wonder if we could have like a tournament, the people in the room versus the people who are watching online. We would certainly get a sense of whether or not there are actually people watching online if we did that. Maybe, hey, if somebody is online, then maybe they can post in the event group a link to the Battle Them thing, and then we can have people come up and do it. Do we want? Yes, we want to do this.
Or no, it's so stupid. Be honest, we don't care.
Yeah,
Something else.
something else.
Okay.
Okay.
So, out of these things, is there anything else that you guys want to do, like all together, or break up into groups and do stuff?
If you feel like you need more time, like working on your goals, going through the motivation sheet, that we could spend more time on any of these things. As you saw in the document, there's like 1 billion resources on this, and we want this to be like you guys are all different and need different things. So if we can tailor it to you as much as possible.
You want to just wrap up and then do the building habits thing?
Does anybody have like a particular thing that they want to do?
No.
We didn't give them a.
I'm building a band, but that's not.
You're building a what?
My problem isn't to get motivated for it, it's to get the resources and the fact that I have great
Okay.
bands. I don't think you guys can help me too much.
Haven't worked on that yet. Healing hands.
Anybody else a project that they want to dissect or like get motivated to do? Okay. We have like okay.
We can wrap up kind of quickly. Yeah. All these things, the idea is you want smartly, right? So when you're doing a project, like figure out the best resources to do and don't waste a lot of time. Like take from what's out there, use a framework or something that already exists and it will help you get started way quicker. But at the same time, don't compromise your current knowledge of whatever languages you're most comfortable with. So if you're like a really awesome PHP developer, then great, go do something in PHP. But you should know at the same time, like there are probably better stuff out there, like Ruby on Rails or other web frameworks that seems to be more of the trend now. So it's this like balance of like what the trend is versus like what you're really good at. And yeah, so don't waste time, use other people's stuff.
The other piece to this is like time spent on projects that aren't meaningful to you are not like that time is effectively wasted. This is a lot of like lean startup methodology and thinking about yourself as like a lean startup. The idea is that you want to only spend time on things that are actually meaningful to you, and you don't want to like work a long time on something and then find out, oh, I spent a bunch of time doing this, and then it turned out that it wasn't meaningful to me. So as much as you can, figure out quickly what things are actually meaningful to you. So before like applying for a job, go and find out whether that job is actually like a good thing for you to apply to. If you spend 10 hours total like looking for and finding that job and applying for it, and it turns out like that wasn't something that's really like a good fit for you, you just wasted all that time when like a quick search on Google could have told you like, oh, actually this job is gonna have me like interacting with children, which I really don't like. That's not me. I actually love kids, but or like figuring those things out like as quickly as possible will like make sure you're not wasting time.
So speaking of quick, learn keyboard shortcuts because they're good. Figure out what you spend like 90% of your time doing and try to optimize for that because your fingers only have a certain amount of muscle memory. But if you can get like 90% of the stuff that you do to do like really quickly, and the mouse is the enemy. That's basically the idea.
Cheap and lie, probably deserves some explanation. You guys are wondering what that means. So steal from open source repositories.
It's just using.
Do as much as you can to borrow from people who want to borrow. Don't lie. Like be very open about all that stuff. There's someone need to like make little tiny tweaks. If you can find that, then you're going to be so much faster to get the thing that you want if you try to build it from scratch.
So the best thing for motivation with me, getting started on a website or an app or a game, is just getting visible progress as soon as you can. So it's like whatever that looks like, just do that first, and then all the really complicated algorithms behind it or the graphics that you really want to make this look as cool as possible, like those can all come later. But as long as you have something that you can see, that's usually a really good motivator for me because now I'm working on this thing that's tangible instead of just a lot of code.
So you're saying that to work on some website or some games, but how long the whole project takes?
So, right. The idea is if you follow a lot of the lean startup methodology is you want to get your idea to this like MVP state, which is something that people can use as quickly as possible.
So build a very, very crappy version and then show it to people.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can build something like in like a day or a week.
Or a week, right? So if you're making a game, just make like a thing that someone can play. And then like you give it to someone.
So even before you write any code, like draw the game on paper. And then you have something to show somebody. Or like draw some of the art for the game or something. Like basically the idea is to very quickly get something that you can put in front of somebody. This is probably also true for like other kinds of projects. If you very quickly have like a prototype of whatever larger project that you're trying to do, then it's very easy to communicate with somebody about like what it is because you just point. You just say like that's what we're working on.
And paper prototypes are really valuable too. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And then ultimately all this is just to be more productive. So try and keep track of these objectives that you're setting towards these larger goals. And you want to notice like in a week, which ones did I get to? And if I didn't get to something I wanted to do, then why not? If you didn't get to something you didn't want to do, then good. You got rid of one thing that you don't have to work on anymore, which is good too.
It turns out that they're generally interested in helping each other be productive. So like sharing these secret goals that you have to like build an app with your friend, and then asking them to follow up with you about that app in a week. Like, hey, did you think any more about that app that you were gonna make? And then I drew a wireframe. Like that's real progress. That's not nothing. It's not building the whole app, but it is making like a step forward. If you make a step forward every day, like you will get there. Especially if you've like chosen appropriate goals and you're working smart and fast and hard.
Yeah, so there's stuff in the Google Doc about how you can build some of these habits that you want to do, and we recommend that you check them out is mostly the thing.
Yes.
And make a conscious effort to build habits that you want, not just like, oh, it would be really cool if I exercised, you know, but like make it a goal, make it a thing for the week. Like I want to exercise four times for an hour each. Make it measurable, actionable.
And then actually measure and take action.
Yeah.
So if you write down the goal that's I wanna get to the point eventually of being able to do 35 push-ups. Okay, then I'm gonna break that down into I'm gonna do five push-ups every day, and then next week I'm gonna do 10 push-ups every day, or whatever it is. Measure it, like actually write down all of those things, so that you can see like, yes, I am making progress along this dimension. If you've set appropriate goals, then like you'll actually do it.
And yeah, so get started now.
Don't leave, like start here.
Well, you can leave if you want.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Like the most important slide is this one. No, this one. So you guys heard all this stuff and it makes you feel good, like you know that you could like do all these things sound achievable. They definitely sound like things you could do. Hearing them has not like it's not the same as having done them. They're each easy like in its own like thing, but like trying to like 10x your productivity, very, very difficult. It takes a bunch of time and work. That's why it probably takes a year to do it. Starting now, like definitely start now. So
yeah, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook or email us. And thanks for coming.
the doc is available all the time, so add to it, use it. If there are things that really work, then like comment and say like, hey, this really worked for me, because then people will like their eyes will be drawn to the things that really work and not like the stuff that's fake.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Cool. If anybody wants to stick around and like talk through another thing, yeah, I'm happy.